Welcome to Two Doctors Homestead. My name's Daniel, and I'm excited to introduce special guest Jason. He's an Army nurse studying for his DNP.
Correct.
Got it right that time. Something kind of fun is we actually sort of met through the channel.
Correct.
Yeah, which is awesome. Local, a good friend now, right? And I brought him here. He's going to make a video with us. This is his first YouTube video. And we're going to talk about Army nurse stuff, medical supplies.
Right, we're going to go over first aid as a first part. My background, I've been a nurse for 15 years. Background is in critical care. I'm also a major in the Army, so we do trauma care and planning for doing first aid and other life-saving adventures in austere conditions. So today we're just going to kind of go over the basics of first aid. What are things that you can put in your kit? What can you put them in? What should you store them? Where should you put them? Things of that nature. So I'm very excited to kind of go over this with you guys today.
Absolutely, and thank you for being on the channel. And you have your own channel?
Not yet.
Not yet. You're working on your own channel, so we will absolutely plug that channel.
Beautiful.
So if you would, where do you want to go with this? We have a bunch of first aid stuff here.
All right, so basic things that you're going to have. You're going to have Band-Aids. You're going to have gauze. There's different types of gauze that you can do. You have little 4x4s, like 4" by 4" pads, 2x2s, 2" by 2" gauze pads. Then you're gonna have bigger pads like this abdominal dressing, so it's gonna be more absorbent than your normal gauze because it has more in it. And then to secure them, you have a couple different options. You have the compression bandages, which is just the ability to tie off. So if you have something on your arm or stomach, leg, you can use these to just tie off. You know, you're gonna put the dressing on itself, and you're gonna tie around, you're gonna put the knot on it, you're gonna stop the bleeding, because again, any purpose of first aid is to stop bleeding. That's a big thing.
Bleeding's bad.
Bleeding's bad.
Do we want to demonstrate? You got a knife on you?
All right, let's just stab. Call it a day.
Do some live wound care here.
Right, you know, initially first aid, when you arrive on a scene, it used to be ABC.
Okay.
Airway, breathing, and circulation. Now it's changed a little bit because now we're focused more on circulation, airway, then breathing. You want to stop any bleeding. So circulation, you know, bleeding, you're going to check the body, you're going to look for it, you're going to try to find any bleeding. There's a site, so if there's bullet wound, stab wound, hitting the head with an Antifa bat, you know, things of that nature.
Right, it happens all the time.
It happens all the time if you're going shopping and a shoplifter, you know, takes you out with the bag they just stole, you know, things of that nature. So you want to stop that bleeding. Okay, you don't want to bleed all over thing. You need the blood to stay alive.
Yeah,
right.
You need blood.
And
I like all of my blood.
All your blood inside, preferably.
Right.
You know, our first goal is, you know, don't die. So we're gonna start there. Taping it, you can use standard tape. There's medical tape. There's different kinds. I like what's called Coban. All right, it's a self-adherent dressing, so you're not gonna have all that tape to pull off. It's not gonna be sticking on you.
Right.
And it sticks to itself. So this is also good for animals because it won't stick to fur, feathers, of that nature. So that's always a nice little item. You can find that anywhere in the first aid section. That's always nice to have a little packet on. Different version for securing is just gauze in a roll, also known as acrylics. And you just essentially just gonna wrap it around, and then you'll tie it off, and you'll just tie it off at the end. And that's also good nature. For stopping bleeding. Tourniquets. Tourniquets are essential.
Tourniquets are.
Right. So always have a tourniquet on you. In your car, in any first aid kit. If something happens, you're on the road and you see an accident, someone's bleeding, they've broken a leg and they're bleeding, or an arm, tourniquet's more than likely going to save their life. This is increase our golden hour time from in the battlefield.
Okay.
To where instead of getting to a place in an hour, you can now extend.
What's the golden hour? Share us with the goal for all of us non-military.
Right. So the golden hour is where you needed to get your patient to a hospital or to some sort of advanced care.
Okay.
And with the use of tourniquets, it's really extended that time. Yeah. A lot of people are worried about, well, if you tie off the tourniquet, are you going to kill the arm? Like, say, if I tied it here,
super tight, there's no more blood flow to my fingers, and I need blood in my fingers.
Right, but is it more important to have blood in your fingers where you can feel them for a little bit, or is it more important not to die?
Right, not dying. So clearly.
Not dying, you know.
Right, you don't want to die. Yeah.
In the end, if it had to stay on for too long and you end up losing the limb, are you still alive?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. True.
So,
true.
Also, something to know is that when you're using a tourniquet, it's gonna hurt because you're essentially cutting off all blood supply. So this little pre-supplied, you're gonna take it out. Okay, wrap it around.
We
just go in here.
Demonstrations here.
All right.
Would the t-shirt matter?
Nope.
No, t-shirt doesn't matter.
I mean, if you want to bring it up, that's fine. If you have bleeding up, but you want to go, say, he's been shot in the arm.
Right.
Say it's here. You want to make sure that you're above the wound. It doesn't do any good if you put it down here, and it's
If
also
the
hard
blood's
to
coming
compress.
out here.
Usually anywhere here.
Okay.
You want to get up here because it's easier to compress the vessels up here.
Yeah.
You have two bones here, and you have vessels going between them, so it's a lot harder to compress down here. So that's why we go up here. You have just the one big humerus bone,
Yeah.
and then the blood vessels, your arteries going inside, and the veins are going inside. So you're just going to tie it down as much as possible, the Velcro, and then you're going to use the cutlass here, and you're going to be spinning it until the blood stops. And they're not going to be happy.
See some veins popping here.
Right? So
Yeah.
if we were doing a blood draw, that'd be perfect right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
But he may or may not complain when I'm
not going to
squeezing
complain
this
on
down.
the camera. You
If
got
I
to keep
was
going.
if I was doing it, it's not comfortable, and
Right.
you're essentially just going and you're going,
Yeah.
and you spin it until the blood stops, and you put the little cuts here, and this has a nice little spot here time, because when either first responder or if you have to do something else, you want to know how long it's been on, because the longer it stays on, the worse what's called compartment syndrome, essentially where all the bad stuff that your respiratory, you're not going to be able to do, because as there's no
Blood
blood,
has to circulate.
you're right, normally,
Right.
So, but you're
normally.
not doing that
Right,
here.
Right.
So when you're cutting off the blood supply, you're going to anaerobic,
Yeah.
right, versus aerobic. So
Yeah.
instead of using oxygen for energy, you're using not oxygen, and so you're going to bring up a lot of metabolites in here and a lot of waste, and so when they do release, all that waste is going to go back into the body, and it's cause other issues. It's going to bottom your blood pressure.
Okay.
It's going to cause a lot of other symptoms. So they want to know about how bad they're looking at when they're doing
When they
that.
unhook it.
When they unhook
Because
it.
everything's coming back in.
Correct.
Right.
Because good blood's going to come in. It's going to flush all the bad stuff back into the body, and so they want to make sure they have an ability to stabilize and make sure that you're okay
Yeah.
when that happens. So make sure you're timing that.
And would you write? I saw you were maybe going to go for a Sharpie there. Would you write what time you put the tourniquet on?
Absolutely. So the moment
Okay.
you tie it off, put on that time,
So you know.
so you know.
So you
Everybody
know. 'Cause
knows.
You're going to be in a haze. Was it 10 minutes? Was it 5 minutes? Was it 3 hours?
Right, and if you're a major issue, like there's a big car wreck and there's a bunch of people injured and you have to do a lot of medical stuff, then it's going to get lost.
Right. Sure.
So you wanna make
won't
sure.
remember that. Yeah.
Another item I like to put in, gloves, blood. Nobody wants to get blood all over themselves and their
Right.
hands, so this is
Yeah.
going to keep your hands clean. So just a couple pairs of gloves, even more if you have them, just to put them in there, just to keep yourself safe. Another issue with trauma is people, when they lose blood, they lose the ability to warm themselves up.
Right.
So-
So shock.
Yes, shock.
Shock.
There we go.
Shock. I know that one.
So emergency blankets. So that's going to help keep what temperature they have. It's going to keep it inside and to reflect any body heat that they are producing back into them. So wrapping up somebody that's been in an accident into a blanket, help keep them warm. That'll help keep the shock down.
Okay.
All
Excellent.
right. Another fun thing for your kits is these little individual packets of medication. So they have Tylenol, they have ibuprofen, they have other non-steroidal anti-inflammatories of the like ibuprofen or Aleve. They're all different kinds of NSAIDs. You can also carry a little bottle of this Advil, and so even if you just need something and you just want something, you're on a trip or you're out backpacking, you just have some pain relievers in case
All right.
you need something.
Right. No, makes sense.
Burn cream, it comes individually and it comes in little jars, little tubes. If you burn yourself while making a fire or something's real hot you're working on, and just the ability to soothe it
Right.
and to keep it from blistering, it's a great idea.
You want to get the heat out of the burn.
Get the heat, dissipate.
Yeah.
And then it's got the little the benzocaine in this one, which has helped numb the area so it doesn't hurt as much.
Right.
Benadryl. Someone gets an allergy, someone's allergic to something, you just have them chew a Benadryl.
Okay.
And then the little individual packets.
Bug bites.
Bug bites, absolutely.
Scorpions, anything like that.
Good old scorpions.
Yeah, good old scorpions. We love Texas.
We love
We love Texas.
A little tube of antibiotic ointment. This is where you get little cuts and scrapes. These are great to just put on underneath the bandage. help keep it clean. And on my kit, I keep a couple other things. So I have the triple antibiotic ointment, which is great.
Good. Yeah.
Anti-itch cream.
Oh yeah.
So you got bug bites, or you get poison ivy or something. You want to put some itch cream on it.
Yeah.
All right, keep that down. So there's different kinds. You got the hydrocortisone, which is the steroidal kind of type, and then you have Benadryl also as well. So two different mechanisms.
Yeah.
That'll affect the allergy part of it.
Makes
and keep
sense.
the itching down.
Yeah.
So those are all cool to keep your little kits. For more circulation. Staple guns.
Staple guns.
So
Daunting.
but not as daunting as trying to sew somebody up, right?
Right. We have some stitch stuff around here. You've done sutures.
I've done some sutures,
Right.
And depending on what you got, it can go better or worse depending on your abilities.
Okay.
Not everybody's comfortable sewing somebody else up.
Right.
Most everybody's used a stapler at some point.
Yeah.
So again, you want to keep the blood inside.
Right.
So if you got a big cut and it's not closing well, staple gun is actually a great option. Surgeons will use this for surgery as well.
Yeah.
So these are real nice because they're disposable. They're one-time use. You can't just throw it back in
You
your
wouldn't want to
pack,
reuse it.
right?
Yeah.
Because then it'll have other gunk in it.
Right. Yeah.
But these are real nice. You open them up, so you have like a cut here. You just want to kind of keep them close together as much as possible.
Right.
Keep the seams together, and you just go down the line and just staple it every half inch.
Okay.
And that'll close up the wound so it can heal, and then you can help stop the bleeding. Real nice.
Now, how traumatic is that going to be? The staples.
You're gonna feel a pinch.
You're gonna feel like you really have to push in.
You're gonna
I think of a regular staple that bends underneath.
Right.
So is it going to do that, or is it just stabbing?
It doesn't just stab. It's like a stapler.
Okay.
So it's gonna if you just go straight in, it's not gonna hold very well.
Yeah.
So you want to have a little tension in there.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna go in and it's gonna hold it in.
Okay.
It's gonna hold it in.
So you'd hold the wound shut, staple.
Hold the wound. You're gonna pinch it, put it on,
Staple
just
it.
Put it against the skin where you want it. Pull. It's like a trigger. Pull. Just go down the line.
Okay. All right.
Feels not as daunting as you would think.
Not as bad. All right. It sounds gruesome.
It sounds gruesome.
It sounds gruesome
when you staple somebody.
Right. Stapling.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to circulation, compression bandages, quick clot.
Quick clot. I've heard good and bad things. You know more about it than I do on quick clot.
So quick clot is really cool. There's two different kinds. You got the bandages that have it embedded in it.
Right. We probably have some around here
we
somewhere.
got some of that, and then it also comes in a powder form.
Okay. And we got some of that around here.
We got some of that around here. And it's just part of that, keeping your blood inside you.
Yeah.
You want to clot as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that'll stop the bleeding.
Right.
So these are great combat gauze. There's another type. The Army uses quick clot. There's one that's more biodegradable. It doesn't have to be suctioned out. So if you use granules,
Okay. Yeah.
those will have to be removed by a
At some
hospital
point.
provider.
Okay. So if you were out, SHTF or zombie apocalypse or just a long way from a hospital and you had a wound, you put the granules on it, you're not going to be able to remove those on your own. Is that going to be a problem long term?
It'll cause irritation later down the line if you can't get to a hospital.
If you can't get them out of there.
End of the world.
End of the world. We're all about the end of the world here.
But again, what we're thinking out is if you're dead now or you're dead later.
You're dead now or dead later, right?
Dead later is always a better option.
Always better.
Right.
Yeah.
You might need debridement later.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get out and kind of scrape it out as it heals.
Yeah.
So it doesn't irritate as much. Wouldn't pour this down a bullet wound.
Okay, that's good to know. Where's the limit on the quick clot?
So quick clot's going to be more on the top. So like a bullet wound, you got a penetrating wound.
Right.
So
there's a hole. Stab with a
hole.
knife, shot with a bullet, pickaxe.
Fair.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies you're going to be taking out. They take out the bullet.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Oh, okay. Get in and pull the bullet out.
You don't pull the bullet out because if you're not trained, you're going to cause more damage.
Okay.
So we'll leave that free.
Right. We might do another video on that. Talk about gunshot wounds.
Yeah, about gunshot wounds. Okay.
Right.
Stab wounds, but you want to pack that wound. Okay. So that's what the gauze.
And what's that mean? So would you go straight for the Israeli bandage, or you hit the gauze first? So like if there was the gunshot, do you go straight for the tourniquet?
So tourniquet's always first.
Okay, tourniquet's first.
Because you want to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you want to pack the wound and then cover it.
Yeah.
This is what I like about Acrylics is that it comes out in a long strip and you can stuff it in there.
Okay, so you're literally jamming it
You're
into the
jamming
hole.
in there.
There's a hole there now.
There's a hole there now.
Right, didn't used to be a hole.
No, you don't like holes, extra holes.
Right, right.
You got enough holes as is.
Yeah.
So you're gonna stuff this until you can't stuff it anymore, and then you can actually use the rest, wrap around it,
Okay.
and then you use a compression bandage,
Yeah.
okay? And that'll help keep that sealed until we can get it treated fully.
Okay. All right, we'll do another video going deeper on the process.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
For circulation?
That's good for now.
Okay.
Once again, guys, we appreciate you. I appreciate Jason for being on the channel. We're going to do a couple videos here, spread it out a little bit, do some focus areas.
All right.
So as always, thank you for watching, and we appreciate you.